Marpar Thar is the Thargar and the Marpar Sar, and it's good, I agree, and I have replayed it and I've looked at it in depth and I have some vaguely controversial thoughts. When discussing Mario Party as a series, several games get thrown out in conversation as people's favorites. You hear a lot of 4, you hear a lot of 2, no one in the history of reality has ever said Mario Party 5, but there is a large following, a gaggle of beings who are obsessed with Mario Party 3, calling it variously positive, kind terms. So, to balance that out, I'm here to call it an absolute pain in my epididymis. That's a chief component of the balls, of which the game is also a pain in. Mario Party 3 released on May 7th, 2001, only 18 months after Mario Party 2, and when I started evaluating this series, I had a different impression of how this was going to feel. You, like me, might think this game is incredible. It's going to be heads and shoulders above the first and second games. I have such wonderful memories of this one. Look at it, it's beautiful. How could it be fucking garbage? And then I got done playing it again, and yes, I have some new thoughts. Listen, I love this game for its look, its nostalgic value, and for being the first completely new entry with no carried over minigames and adding new characters like Wall, and I want to make this clear right now. I have never given a fucking shit about Waluigi. Like, there's nothing wrong with him, except pretty much his entire being, but honestly, not in Smash Brothers, I have no problem with that. The longer we prohibit that long Wario from being in more games is fine with me. Anyway, he's a selling point here. A guy has his own map and everything. The guy owns his own fucking island. But really, besides the supplemental aspects of Mario Party 3, everything else bugs me. The items have never been more broken, minigames that are impossible to win or lose, and by the by, I really consider AI gameplay when ranking minigames because you aren't able to always play with 4 real human beings. And if you do get to play with that many, I'm jealous, you have good friends, that's so cool. But anyway, there's many minigames that should be fun, but then, you know, they are ruined by computers. And then for our first story mode, we are given the most repetitive experience of all time, and then you're expected to complete the thing very well, like 5 times in order to quote unquote 100% the game. It's miserable, maybe being the worst story mode they ever made for a Mario Party. I love the stickers though, those things bring me back to the good days. But people probably remember the maps fondly, the broken, absolutely busted items, and the updates to the established formula, Waluigi, all that stuff, all those. So of course, let's take a right, careful, good old, long, deliberate, exhaustive, ridiculously in-depth, whole picture, fat, large cock look at Mario Party 3 to determine if it's the best Mario Party game ever made. Today, I will be on poor behavior. I want to clarify something before we begin. I am actually objectively marking these games. Now, you might point out that objective is the wrong word to use, as I am an individual talking about things I do and do not like to do, but you'd be surprised how much you can fudge the rules when you make your own YouTube videos. So that's how it's going to be, but also, just as a teaser, I believe that there is an objective truth to the idea that more characters is better. So in the character department, Mario Party 3 is already scoring higher than 1 and 2. Not that that's all that matters, of course. There's like a lot of factors that are important to a game, such as if Bowser's Big Blast is in it, you know, that's a humongous penalty, and the second game suffers from it greatly. I don't want to reveal the breakdown or the formula just yet though, you know, keep the competitive magic alive. So let's just get into the minigame section, and you know, there's a few modifications we changed today for that. Unlike the other 2 previous entries of finding the best Mario Party, go check them out, they're alright. I will start by arranging our discussion of the minigames from F to S tier in an ascending fashion. And as a refresher for what kind of criteria I made for ranking these games, I value if there is a good time to be had for all the participants, and if you can influence the outcome yourself. So if a game is entirely luck and it's boring luck, that's called fuck tier. And if you can do all sorts of work and win the game through your talent, and while doing it you have a big old smile on your face, then that's shit. That's great. Real discussion real quick, but what do S through F stand for actually? S could be super and A could be amazing, but what is B? B is not a low score, so it's supposed to be a positive word, but literally, what B word means good? Decent? Bud? Could be bitchin', but there's no way it's bitchin'. And then C, what can C be? Cock? D is dump or dick or doo-doo, and then finally F. Yeah, you don't have to have a different idea than me for F. You've got it. It's quite obviously, forget about it. And then E is exempt. Anyway, the tier list for the minigames, and as another addition today, I'm completely hybridizing the AI involvement. So if they ruin the experience, I'm sorry, but the game, it's trash. It's gonna go down. Bowser toss? Okay, yeah, find me the lover of Bowser toss so I can toss them into a wall. This game is both destructive to your hands and isn't fun to play. You're supposed to mash the A button and tilt the stick to angle Bowser, while your mashing represents how strong you are, but the tilting is counterproductive to the mashing, as mashing usually makes me look at my crotch and break the controller with massive force. And the tilting thing is remarkably specific and far too either up or down, and Bowser's just slamming his dumb ass onto the floor. Meanwhile, the AI makes you its bitch here. It's like a fucking jackhammer and perfectly calibrated crane arm fused into the ultimate Bowser toss player by mashing 220 times per second and angling perfectly. You cannot beat them, and I do not care to try, so F tier this one does lie. Ho ho! End of the line. This is a dueling game where you're on a train and you have to hit left or right. That's it, I know, impossible to understand. And you go into the tunnels with only one of the 2 tunnels leading to another junction with 2 tunnels, and the first to clear all 3 tunnels wins. The correct tunnel is on the same side for both players, so the first person to clear the junction will either just win or spoil the way to win and lose the game by letting the other player know exactly what to do. This is not only a luck-based game that has no control, it's a shit-headed luck-based game where you get punished for being only partially lucky. It has nothing good about it. Cheap chase. I know this might sound dramatic, but I would annihilate the balls of whoever made this minigame. Don't worry though, it's an empty threat. My foot remains in my pant, my shoe. I'm not wearing shoes. Cheap Chase is the mother of all mash A button games, and it's another one where you have to hit the B button to dive under the water at the right time to avoid obstacles. But again, this one is so impossible to win if there's a single AI player, and even if there isn't, I dislike this style of game so much. I'm happy to have a couple of these in the series, but every game having the mash A fastest shit, but here's some gimmick thing just sucks. Domination in Mario Party 4 is like the best this type of game has ever been, and I'd prefer to leave it at that. Just, break your thumbs, simple, easy, not good, but fine. Motor Rooter makes me want to root around in my ass instead of playing it, because this is a heinous dueling game. Both players are in a tunnel and have to rotate 360 degrees around this tunnel to avoid lightning and whatever, and it's frankly impossible to succeed without just guessing. You have to move so fast to win, and the visibility is trash, and that's the fun part. The AI does not have the need for brain or eyes like you do. It's just, it senses and knows where to go. Even with just 2 humans, it's frustration station. I hate playing it. Title Toss. Okay, legendary game because it's one of those great ones where the single player can never win against 3 non-babies who are shitting their pants instead of hitting the A button. In this 1v3 minigame, the single player has to ground pound a boat, which makes waves ripple outwards. You can go for 3 distinct styles of wave making by varying how much butt you use when you ground pound. The other 3 players merely have to jump over your waves and not be pushed off. Sadly, there is no way to ever win this game quite literally as long as the 3 players just walk and jump vaguely over some of the waves. I'm not even positive you have to jump because you get post-hit invincibility, but maybe if you ate 100% of the attacks, you would end up falling. But since it's not quick, you would need to be really awful. And since it requires 3 players to be absolutely impressively mindless at the same time, this is a free win or loss depending on your role. River Raiders. This is one of the biggest groin-kicking golden games in the Mario Party series, mainly because the person who is the single player will likely gain everything as they lead a contraption that pulls the other 3. You travel on the river and grab coins, but since they're ahead and steering, they just take all the money as soon as it appears. It's actually just generally poorly designed as the 3 players will never get a sizable amount of money relative to the front leader unless the front leader is one of those diaper-dumping babies we have previously discussed. Spotlight Swim. Oh my god, who is a fan of this Mario Party? This is another completely unfair game. The 3 can never fail this, unless one of those 3 collude, which I have seen happen, and if it does well, sucks for you, the 3 can't win now. All the objective is that the 3 players have to simultaneously put a spotlight over the 1 player in this body of water, with the singular player having the ability to move around and dive under the water to reappear elsewhere. Sadly, the 1 player is not Michael Phelps, and indeed needs helps because their fucking legs don't work. You move and reappear so incredibly slowly, the spotlight operators would have to be blind for you to escape them. It's just genuinely terribly balanced. Merry-Go Chomp! It's Bowser's Big Blast reskin for another game. Do I have to say more? Okay, for newcomers, this is the obligatory total bullshit RNG minigame where you have to pick a color and hope you didn't pick not good color. Everyone just takes a turn dying, and if you happen to be the last player alive, you get the pot of coins, and this is a battle minigame, so a lot can be on the line. It's just awful. Stacked Deck. Stacked Deck in my pants is just Merry-Go Chomp with more button inputs. This Random is Fun game is a game where random is fun, right? And every player is simply tasked with ground pounding a random card that may or may not kill them. Baby Bowser, you die. Toad, you live. Boo, the game takes longer as all the surviving players run away and return in a random order. Last man standing wins. There's a decent chance if you're the last person to go in the initial lineup, you may just win for doing nothing. Bounce and Trounce. I mean, this one's sad because it looks like it should be fine, but it's like programmed by a guy who was hit with a shovel and it controls like absolute dick. Everyone is on the ball and you are against such ambition. You want Luigi to fucking fall in a hole and die, literally. So you just jump and spin around and knock people around and it's bad. The perception of whether you're going to hit or not is terrible, and even when you connect a hit, it feels ineffective and feeble. And then when the AI hits you, well shit, get my tombstone out. I'm gonna get launched into the pit now. Maybe there's some hyper secret to pumping at this one, but until I'm corrected by the commentators, I will say next game. Chip Shot Challenge. Okay, let's be reasonable. The idea of this one is fun, and with 4 humans, it's fine, but even though it's fun, the flaws make it fucked. All 4 players are tasked with hitting a chip shot nearest to a hole. The problem is that the guy going first is randomly horribly disadvantaged as they don't get to use everyone else's attempts to help gauge where they should aim and how much power they should use. So player 1 makes an attempt and most likely misses a little worse than the other players because they just get to base their attempt off his, and if the first player is a hyper god of golf and dinks it into the hole for a hole-in-one, it still indicates where the others have to put the ball and how much power they're going to give it, meaning they will just help the whole gang get a free win. Then if there's an AI in there, it's just Phil Tickleson my dick. They hammer it away perfectly and boom, you lose. Thanks for playing against a GPS. Frigid Bridges. Here's a game where you're supposed to walk around a loop 3 times the fastest without falling off, so points deducted for being bland, but what ruins it utterly is that an AI will perform perfectly and never fall off the bridge. No, honestly, they are glued to the bridge and move perfectly on it. In case you were playing with 4 humans, this is probably more fun than it normally is, but I've never not had an AI in here that just sweeps the competition, so I sweep this one into the trash can instead. Storm Chasers. I cannot give a reasonable opinion about this game where everyone just carries a piranha plant and tries to suck water out of the clouds. I mean, it's fine, I guess, if you just enjoy butting your butt against other people, really grinding your gears into their gooches, just crashing your crotch into others. But for me, I dislike the rhythm. The player who stands under the water the longest wins, but it's just chaotic and strange as you can't really push people, you just bump against them. It's fairly unsatisfying, no matter if it's humans or AI. Dump Game. Ridiculous Relay. What is ridiculous is that the game designers didn't balance this one to be fair to the 3, where the only way they will win is if the singular lone paragliding fucking Luigi just guzzles a major dick and can't move up and down well. And even with the AI who will absolutely make short work of the mash the A button clause and sometimes will even fail as the paraglider solo, it's just an invariably bad time. Dump Game. Thwomp Pull. Alright, breaking character again. I wrote this a little while ago and I wrote, what is thwomp is that this game pulls my balls. Now, I don't know what the fuck, but it basically is the same thing as the last minigame, except here it's possibly worse because there's now not a differentiation of control. Both the single player and the 3 players have the exact same inputs required to win. The only difference is that the 3 players have to input their button in sequence, unlike the lone guy who can just react with their one brain and therefore just wins the game. Also, we're using these thwomps as slave labor, so that's sick, that's twisted, that's a dump game. Hyper Hydrants. This game looks fine, it sounds fine, the concept is alright, and then it just feels like it doesn't work. In this 2v2 game, both teams have a pumper and a dumper. As the dumper, you move the hose around to douse the flames, but here's the thing, there's some odd physics to putting things out. I don't know why, but it's like it wants the game to be pretty even all the way to the end instead of letting the team that is better at their roles win handily. The flames sometimes just don't go away, and other times they speed up like instantly. It's probably just poorly executed, which is a shame because this one is probably the first decently structured game on the list, but structured or not, it's Dump Game.
Handline and sinker.
Handline and sinker is a stinker because it's really awkward to be caught in 70% of the positions, and 30% of the time it's impossible to dodge. One player has a fishing rod and is trying to catch, kill, and eat their friends who are now fish, okay, and cast the line out and reel it back in a direct path. If anyone is caught in that line of intersection, they are out. It's just stiff and unfun in general. There's almost no strategy. It's all about whether the person casting sucks. Plus, the AI are terrible at this game and sit right next to the shoreline offering up their succulent fish body for free. Dump Game. Coconut Conk. Welcome to the game where you can basically win if you just stand in between the trees, mainly because Dick won't get his large ape ass out of the way. This is yet again another grand 1 versus 3 game where the 1 is in a barrel and the 3 ain't having that shit, so they gotta ground pound the tree to drop coconuts on them to kill them. Only problem is, a lot of the real estate is vastly safer for the 1, and you can just hide in difficult to reach sections. And the 3 usually have an AI in there who just won't move out of the way and barricades you from even attempting to hit the other colluding AI player, so it's just dumb and dismal. Dump Game. The beat goes on. This is your bog standard memory game, and it's okay. I have nothing snarky to say about it. That being said, I don't have anything particularly amazing to say about it either. It's a game for people with brains above the age of 5, and if you're a cat or some shit, you probably can't play it either, but for the most part, it's fair to all participants. All you do is memorize the button inputs and replay them, and then you add a new one of your own, and the game goes in a circle until 3 people mess up. The thing is, since the N64 controllers are very phonetical, you can just win by talking and saying out loud what the thing is. So, like Zabziba, who would forget saying that? Not me. Zabziba. I'm gonna say that in a future video. You're gonna remember it even then. Zabziba. The reason this is a dump tier is because it's the longest, most tedious minigame ever designed. You could be here for 5 minutes, and that's insufferable if you lost. You'll just be there watching other people say things like abs, abs, zab over and over again as you wonder why people think Mario Party 3 is the best Mario Party ever made. Baby Bowser Broadside. Doesn't broadside mean ass, in which case this game is actually called Baby Bowser Ass, but you know, whatever, maybe not. What I do know is that in this shoot the target game where you're arbitrarily spinning around, it's bad and I don't like it. You're in teams of 2 and the team to shoot Babo Bowzo the most gets the moolah, but it's mediocre as most games in dump tier have been. I don't have much to say, you just hold A and try to rotate your stick as well as your control stick and you score the most points. It's vaguely bad.
Dump tier.
Ace is high. I just despise this game because it's way too floaty for its own good. Everyone's in a goddamn fighter jet ready to kill and you have to shoot the other players before they shoot you. Everyone gets 2 hits and then they are out. Problem is the rapid fire ball gun is awful. Being a tiny projectile is hard to actually aim with. So instead you hold the fire button to bring down the Titanic large bomb that homes in on a target, and there's some kind of strategy to try and juke out of the way of those, but good luck actually knowing what you're doing as you run into the invisible walls or have to fly directly up or down half the time. Dumb game. Foul play. I don't have to elaborate much. It's a duel game where you and the opponent chase down a chicken and the person to catch it wins. The chicken is a cock. I just thought you'd like to know. It's hard to get him. Honestly, it just runs right into the arms of not you all the time. And then since everything was bet on this game, you lose all your coins because the AI is sticking its fictitious body part into your back room. Dump game. Logjam. This 2v2 game is where a player lugs a log onto a table and the other player cuts it in half. The team to cut the most log wins. Button, hit button, repeat, partner fucks up, kill partner, regret. It's not fun for the whole family. It's only good for someone who likes cutting logs in their spare time, like Fred, that bastard, dickhead, fuck, dumb game. Treadmill grill. This one is basically like several of the games from Mario Party 1 and 2 where you just have to punch people to their deaths, but the thing is there's a randomness factor with how the spawning potobos kill you, and therefore it's a real bore because Waluigi is over there pissing around and you just get unlucky and die. I feel like no matter who wins, there will be some player or players who are just annoyed by how dumb things went. Picture imperfect. Hey guys, let's have this matching game where your inputs are controlled by hitting stupid ass blocks. This one is genuinely something that annoys me. You can't just stand when you're looking for Mario's nose, then you jump up and miss it by a single frame and get some weird dick nose and lose all your points. Then the game is over. I don't like. Because I'll explain. You get a randomized picture of Mario and are supposed to match the elements that are selected, but you can't just obviously click a button. You have to time jumps, but I don't know, it's just kind of bad. Is this anyone's favorite? Do you love this? What I would dub a dump game? Curtain call. You and the gang are at some kind of burlesque show and have various creatures dance and go away, and then Todd comes by and asks you a question about what you saw. I think I saw Goomba's dick? What the Who was the furthest from the left? Who was in the middle? X, Y, and Z? It's mediocre, but you know, whatever. It's C tier. Picking Panic. Picking Panic looks fun, handles fun, and is okay fun, but it's a little goofy. The teams of 2 in this game have 1 gripper and 1 ripper, so to speak. Player 1 grabs the cherries, player 2 catches them, the team to score the most points win. Now, this one is annoying with AI because they are out of their minds at random intervals, and say you're playing with a small child and the other team has 2 Titanic old men. The old men are going to be coordinated, plotting, destructive, but the child is feeble and fucking stupid, so the cherries just fall into the abyss. Game is too dependent on who's playing it. Thanks, good next. Mario's Puzzle Party. Yeah, I see you out there, Mark. You're pissed. You love Mario's Puzzle Party. You think it should be S tier because you probably shove copies of Puyo Puyo up your ass at night. This is a decent game, I guess, except it's really not fluid at all and I dislike it thoroughly. You are all given a puzzle arena and tasked with clearing blocks of the same color by smushing them together. First player to 100 wins. Like Peach is over there with 0 points and you have 90, you're about to win, and then you suddenly look over and Peach has 4,000. It's a weird time. Pump, pump, and away. What my girlfriend used to call me. This game is reminiscent of Bowser's Big Bust and Jerk Off My Dick, where you make the rocket gain more thrust by smashing the A and B buttons in sequence. This time you're with a friend who helps you and the winning team has their rocket go the farthest. It's good, but not as good as previous installments in this kind of control scheme. I really would prefer to be alone instead of working with someone, especially with an AI player who for some reason can no longer understand how button presses work. Snowball Summit. This one would be higher up if it was more gooder. Each player rolls up a snowball and then walks around with it until it becomes massive and they annihilate someone with it. There's some strategy, but unfortunately it's pretty dumb. A tiny little bitch ball blocking the Omega ball feels bad and the knockback is inconsistent and strange. Overall, this one is fine, but it ends a little spontaneously and I'm not a large simp for it. Toadstool Titan. Here's another game that's fine, I guess, but it's just odd. You and your mates are all standing in this room with blocks, and in the blocks are mushrooms. You are supposed to jump up and randomly pick the one with a mushroom and then grab it to become massive and trounce the opponents. The thing that sucks, the mushroom juts out a lot when you get it, and someone who didn't hit the box will get to pick it up and then kill you, and I find that to be offensive and aggravating, the best of combos. Once big, you just run into the enemies and they're out, which isn't the most exciting thing from anybody's perspective. Hide and sneak. This is just nonsense, but it's more calculated and fast nonsense than the usual RNG fare. In this 3v1 game, the single player has to select one of 4 hiding places to destroy, which is where one or more of the 3 players could be hiding. There's 3 rounds and you select the spot as long as you're not eliminated, and if you successfully dodge the single player's random guesses, the team wins. After a round, a hiding place vanishes, so by the end, it's a 50-50. So being the solo player here is actually quite awful, as you have to guess the positions of all 3, and if it's the 3rd round with 2 opponents still alive, there's 2 hiding places left and they can collude, so you can't possibly win. That's great. MPIQ. Mario Party Incredible Chock with a Q is where you're asked random questions by a Todd who is speaking incredibly slowly. You buzz in before your opponents and can select A, B, or C. The thing is, you can buzz in before there's even a question on the board, and sometimes you'll be fine to do that because the questions are either ones you'd guess anyway, like what is the current record on Bowser's Big Blast, or something insanely easy like who is not currently in the game. This one has the potential for laughs, and I like it to some extent, so it's okay. Thanks for it. We'll take it. All right. Boulder Ball. This saw trap is where one player is on top of a cliff with a Looney Tunes boulder launching device and has to kill the other 3, preventing any single player from reaching the top in the allotted time. The control is rigid and it's hard to win as any position, so I guess that's fair. The 3 have an obvious advantage because there's 3 of them and the AI player plays equal parts horrendously, but then sometimes they're psychic, so it's also fair enough in most regards as well. Puddle Paddle. I like free coin games, so yeah, it's fine. I mean, Hammer Bros just raining all over the players, that's fun. You and a partner control a raft and just mash A to move and maneuver and collect cash. It's simple, it's easy, C tier boring, nothing C tier fine, good, yes. Slot Cinch. This is just a better than average slot machine game because it's just about matching the block image your partner hits. You get more points for the various symbols and Bicho Bowzo takes away a point. If you don't sync up, you just get to try again, so it's fun and strategic to some degree. Ice Rink Risk. This is your bog standard move around and dodge something game. Those are always decent. This one has ice in it, so it's losing points, but you get to see Waluigi get killed by a spiked ball, so that's a plus. These games in B tier are all unoffensive and fun for the whole family, or just part of the family that can be bothered to play with you, or just you and 3 AI. Thank you, Dad, I'll play with myself. Vine with me. In this dual minigame, you have to swing and release from vines at the right times to make the money mines, and if it controlled 22% better, the game would be higher, but you constantly fall through the vines and that sucks. Still, it's got a rhythm, it's got an energy, and I can accept this one. Cosmic Coaster. It's glidey, it's good, it's cosmically coasting into B tier where you just race the opponents, but now it's about moving left and right, and that's better than the previously made mash A button with ultimate fury to get through the track faster than the opponent. Yeah, it's I don't know what else to say, it's fine, play it, good game. Baby Bowser Bonkers. The fuck is with all the Baby Bowser games? Bonking means to fuck. This is a whack-a-mole style game where you crush Babe Bow's head with your butt and it's good, has some decent energy. You move a little weird and it's frustrating to be beaten because the weird hit detection favors your opponent over yourself, but usually it goes okay. Fine, again, it's B for bud. Etch and Catch. A 2v2 game where you draw a closed circle around a moving stamp and the team to have done this accurately more than the other team in the allotted time win. It's blasé, it's quite derivative, it's a bore, and that's why it's in B tier. I'm just happy to not be pissed off. Crowd cover. Here's a fun one that makes you want to kill someone because you're hasty and make a single mistake and lose the game. You and some dick are dueling and you have to select the exact matching image, and it's a subtle difference that makes you mess up here. You have to select one of 3 images that is correctly matched the one on the ground, but there's a bunch of fucking people in the way. It's New York City. And if you're playing against an AI, they don't have to use their eyes to win. That's cool. Oh, piece of shit. Crazy Cogs. Here's the scariest game ever made. One player is a terrorist shooting bombs at the other 3. To make matters worse, they control a platform that spins left and right. So you're supposed to whirl around the stage and hit everyone with a bullet bill. The 3 players have the sole ability to move, and it's just terrifying as you nimbly dodge the barrage around you blind. It's fun, I guess, but B tier because bad for brain. Plus it's nonsensical and you get fudded for no reason. Awful Tower. Awful Tower, more like awful game. Easy joke, easy joke, easy joke. Actually, it's not so bad. It's a basic platforming minigame, and that's fine. Who needs complex jumps to make something interesting? Instead, we just bonk our foreheads because the physics are shizics. The first player to scale the entire Awful Tower wins, but there's some bonus coins you can grab if you're sucking an insert object here. I usually like to say eggs, but maybe you like sucking something else. Ass, dick, balls, you know, there's a lot of them. 3-Door Monty. This is a memory motherfucker game, and that's what I would dub the minigames where you have to look at something and then remember it faster than your opponents. This one works good. You see a Koopa, a Todd, and a Boo go into 3 doors. You remember which was which and ring in the answer as fast as possible. Even the AI isn't going ape as fuck, but they have a moderate amount of brain, so it's fair play to everyone in the game. Silly Screws. Silly Screws is fun because it was programmed with a degree of physics in it. In this heads-up dueling minigame, you have to tap A or B respectively to rotate a screw to allow you to progress to the next one. If you mash too fast, you're going to overshoot the target and have to hit the opposite button to rotate back the other way. It's fun, it's intense, and you can display how much of a loser, nerd, Chad, moron, cool guy you are by knowing the precise timing involved in Silly Screws in Mario Party 3 and the Nintendo 64 catalog of video games. I said video. Next one. Rockin' Raceway. This is the ultimate oh god, oh no game ever made. Everyone is on a hobby horse and has to rock back and forth to reach the finish line first. This track is laid out much like a regular racehorse one in that the position you are in does have some effect on your tactics. If you're on the inside, you have a smoother finish than the guy on the outside. Or that's just psychological dick fuck and I don't know what I'm talking about, but it feels better being inside than out. It's my new dating book coming out soon. Otherwise, the mechanic is you have a stamina meter that will expend itself rapidly if you go too fast, so you have to pace yourself. Except there's a power-up that fully replenishes your stamina and lets you go hard for a few moments regardless of your health. But that power-up flips between good carrot and ass carrot every few seconds and you have to pick it up at the right time. So basically, the game is good, it's got intensity, and makes you misanthropic about reality if you get the ass carrot by mistake and die. Yes sirree. Parasol Plummet. This is one of the better coins for everyone games. It's simple, you open and close your parasol to change your speed and trajectory, aiming at coins however you can in the most efficient manner. Some people may not like games where the last place Luigi log as shit gets free money despite being sufficiently logged, but I always love seeing a gold game pop up, especially so when it's unoffensive and fair to all participants. Pop gun pick-off? In this dueling game where you have to shoot babies instead of Todds, interesting notion, the player to shoot the most babies wins the money. It's fast-paced, fun, and smooth to control. It's gooder than a lot of the bunch. All fired up. Probably one of the most basic minigames here, but it's simple fun. Dodge fire, don't touch fire, will burn ass, will hurt, requires aloe vera, and you have to fully and nimbly jump and move around in a fast-paced, fully balanced game. It's, it's good, it's enjoyable. There's a bit of a janky feeling with trying to duck under the potobos, but that's avoidable, and seasoned players will recognize and not try that dumb shit. But all the little kids will hate it, assert dominance for their stupidity. Water World. Water World. This is like Rockin' Raceway if it was better, because now you have to use the joystick to revolve around the track yourself. And it's a bit slippery, but that's the fun of it. It takes a deft hand to navigate correctly. Too much drift and you'll spin around. Too little and you'll not do good. Not good. Jesus, okay. I wrote this a little while ago. We're gonna take a shot at it. Not goo good, goo bad. Upo, I sucko the dicko. Yeah, get good at the movement and grind against the inside track and destroy your friends. Absolutely beat their butts and fun time. Locked Out. The almighty friend-hating game with a degree of bad RNG that will screw someone, but it's surprisingly not altogether unfun. You are all in some kind of saw trap again, with rooms that progressively have less doors, all the way to the final room with only one, and the way to get through the doors is to grab the correct corresponding key and run through. Players can punch the shit out of you to steal a key, and that's why the RNG of where the key spawns doesn't matter, because you can have an on-the-fly recognition that you either need to avoid being punched, or you're gonna need to punch someone to get the key back. It's good, it's a battle minigame, so there's a lot of coins on the line, and it's overall pretty fun. Messy Memory. Here's the game for people with fully functional temporal lobes. There's a large mess of all kinds of stuff, like my banana bunch and my egg and my various hats, so you have to remember where they're supposed to go and then reassemble the room identically. This is simply a brain game, and it's good fun being one of the few non-action challenges that has an adult bias. You're not allowed to be a chimp here, you can't be a gibbon. Pipe cleaners. Clean my fucking pipe. Oh yeah, it's an up B, up A, down B, down A game. Baby Bowser is going through a bunch of pipes and you have to jump up and smash his brains with a hammer. Nintendo loves children and the player to accurately smack him the most wins. It's fast, it's fun, it's skill oriented with maybe even some prediction in there. You know, good time. Eyesore. This is a big boy game, which is amazing since it only involves rotating the control stick, but you know. There's an eye in the center of the screen, odd day, and each player has to run around it in a circle. If you bump into the eye, it knocks you down, wasting time. The first player to make the eye shrink and fade away wins. I'm not sure how many rotations it actually takes. It's more than one, that's all I know. This one is such a fucker though. There's potobos that spawn to the sides, narrowing and extending the width of the circle you can and should make, which changes the trajectory of your pathing. So, you know, being perfect at this one is hard and getting it down is fun. It's just pretty good. Tick-tock hop? Tick-tock hop is almost like a beta for a Mario Party 4 minigame because it's got a similar energy. Simple concept that starts off slow, builds to become faster, unpredictable, and exciting. You are on a big clock, odd day, and you have to jump and avoid the minute hand that's swinging around. You don't have anything to do except jump at the correct time, but the speed of both hands change. Their directions change, and it's just frantic. It's akin to Hot Rope Jump from Mario Party 1 and 2, but now it's got more dynamicism. Slap down. The ultimate game in terms of split section reaction time. You are at a contraption with a huge hand and have to hit the A button when the picture matches the image you're randomly assigned at the start. If you're wrong, hitting A on an incorrect image, you die in real life. Just kidding, you lose the game, that's worse. The player who slaps down first correctly wins, and since it's a battle game, the other players rank in second, third, and fourth depending on when they hit A. This one is just the pinnacle of clenching butt, and I like that. Ooh. Eats a pizza, eats a fucking pizza. Best game, not elaborating. Thank you. All right, that's our minigame tier list. As you can see, it's okay, I guess. Yeah, it's mostly bad in my opinion. Also, I'll quickly run through the item minigames and the 3 bonus ones that aren't seen in regular play. Winner's Wheel is just a timing game and it's got some weird timing, so it's time to say it's not worth a play. Good day. Hey Batter Batter is funny because it's just you hitting A with the right timing to hit a baseball into a specific item, but honestly, I think it doesn't matter. It just goes somewhere if you hit the ball. I guess that's fine. It's random, and I could be wrong, but this one isn't that good. Bobbing balloons is a skill check. Only the best gamers on Earth will hit the balloon they want. You get a bow and an arrow, and you gotta weave it through a sea of targets to get what you aim for. It's very hard, and usually it only gives you a key. Dory Dip is just Winner's Wheel again in a more manual sense. You stomp your fat ass on this creature's back, and he stoops over and grabs a raft with an item on it. Okay, yeah, good. Swinging with Sharks is a troll game to get because it's just impossible usually and sucks. You hit the button and jump from a swing onto some barrels, and the barrel you land on gives you an item, except you can easily just fall next to the barrel and get nothing. Swing and Swipe is last, and it's really easy. You just have to attack baby Bowser with a hammer. Bowser's not very interested in his child support anymore as he has too many children, so you have to hit one of them with a hammer and you get the item that they're holding. Ooh boy. Then there are 3 bonus games. I'm not wasting many words on this. Mario's Puzzle Party Pro is a solo Mario puzzle party, which is good enough if you like that. I don't. Dizzy Dingies is honestly like an unfinished game where you just drive around a track and get a high score, but the thing is, it's way more in-depth than other games, letting you choose a vehicle at the start. Each of them handled differently, but I can't be bothered learning much about why. Finally, there's Stardust Battle, the very last minigame in the story mode where you have to kill the Giga Chad Millennium Star, don't ask, and it's fun enough, but it can be annoying. In this battle, you have to throw cooled stars at him to kill him, taking 9 hits on hard, and he makes the arena less easy to navigate as you hit him more. Also, if you get hit once, you die, which is kind of unfair. Why can he take 9 hits and I can take 1? I could be playing as an ape right now. But now we should talk about spaces, the lands in which your plans become chance timed. There's a lot of returners with some new additions like the Degenerate Gambler space, but we'll rattle them off in order. Blue and red spaces give and deduct 3 coins respectively to whoever lands on the spot. Classic. I always equate the red space to a gutter, so it's funny when Dick has no memory and falls his ape ass in there and loses nothing since he's a penniless, pathetic excuse for a king of the jungle. That's jungle for Spanish speakers. Bank space, it's the extortion Koopas back up to their old tricks again, and it's no different than Mario Party 2's iteration. As you cross the Chase Bank space, you are accosted by the owner to pay 5 coins, and the player who lands directly on the space will receive the entirety of the pot. Bowser space is back, and this game has more of a likelihood for the player to not get utterly dicked. You can reliably land on the Bowser gift spaces, which is good, but otherwise he's just as legendary of an asshole as usual. There's a few new additions like Bowser's phone giveaway. It's Steve Hobbs, that's Steve Jobs for Spanish speakers. He always now gives away a suit, curses players to move slowly or to move in reverse, shuffle everyone's positions on the board, or absolutely just murder someone or everyone's wallets. Now say you're that penniless ape we were talking about earlier and you happen to land on a Bowser spot with literally nothing to your name. He'll give you 30, 40, or 50 coins. That's good of him. He's a public servant. He's not gonna let an ape go hungry tonight. The battle space is where everyone antes up a varying amount of money and fights to the death for it. Usually the Daisy player will land on this one with 0 coins to their name and win, resulting in everyone else losing all their wealth for her non-risk. Again, Mario Party is for those who suck scrotums. Chance time is here, and it's a harsh mistress as per usual. Here, whoever lands on the space gets to hit a block, which I don't think is predictable anymore, and has a variety of outcomes, like the ever common "you in particular lose the game, fuck you," among other ones, like Luigi gets 5 coins from Yoshi. Fuck. The event space is just what spurs on the happening bonus star. It makes event happen. Very self-explanatory. I don't know how to elaborate that any further. It's a basic concept. Usually it just makes some kind of creature try to kill everybody. The game guy space. Giga Chad spot here. Okay, here's how this goes. You land, you pay up all your money, like all of it. You guess where the toad is 3 times. You win 1,000 coins because you got lucky. The game is over. Then someone hits chance time. You lose all your coins and bingo. I love Mario Party. Yeah, this space is such a meme that it never reappears in any other Mario Party game. It's literally just gambling with a few distinct games that are all luck. Winning is exhilarating, but losing is exhausting. There's 4 different games he plays and they're all luck. I'm not wasting more of your potential describing them in depth. Just know they're total bullshit and I love all of them. I did get that 1,000 coin dream one time. The guy is good in my book. Item space, the most broken thing in the game, gives you either a minigame which no one cares about because they're all dumb and usually don't give great items, but more often, Todd or Bay Bao descend from the heavens with a question. Toad will ask things like, "Are you a good citizen?" or "Are we gonna have to evict you from reality?" while Baby Bowser asks something like, "Do you wash your hands after gooning?" And depending on how you answer, which is just totally random, you get an item, a rare item, 3 items, and they can give you some ridiculous things, including 4 items that are mostly available only from these spaces. That is a nice segue to talk about the items because they're all very odd in this entry. And by the way, astute Mario Party 3 players probably wonder why I didn't bring up the spaces found on the dual maps, a unique mechanic to this particular game. It's because I'm putting off the agony of that discussion until its own section in a little bit. Personally, I was thinking of putting it off until after the outro. But anyway, the items, they are the mushroom. It gives you 2 rolls for the price of 1. The skeleton key lets you open up doors that are locked, and also Luigi seems to like sticking them up his dick hole. I'm not kidding, it's his favorite item for some reason. Cellular shopper, a cell phone that lets you call the item shop to be a consumer and buy more things. Warp block randomly swaps your position with another player. Dueling glove allows you to duel a player of your choice. Golden mushroom, it gives you 3 rolls for the price of 1. Boo repellent, best item in the game, I love it, defends from a single boo attack. Magic lamp warps you to the star. Broken ass item, it ruins the game in a small way this time around. An item bag contains 3 random items and might even give you a rare one. Reverse mushroom, the most broken thing ever fucking designed, and it never returns for a good reason. You can select any player, including yourself, to have their next roll send them in the opposite direction. The implications of what you can break with that are large. Say you're right next to Boo and you just want to get him several times in a row. Poison mushroom gives you dysentery. It also makes you move only 1, 2, or 3 spaces for the next turn. Bowser phone calls Bowser for you or another player, as Bowser is an old man who can't hear anymore, so he mistakes Donkey Kong for Princess Peach. The Bowser suit, you become Bowser and run over any player near you for 20 coins each. Lucky lamp moves the star location, actually more niche than it sounds like it should be. Plunder chest, good for plundering ass, steals a single item from someone else. Boo Bell summons Boo, which allows you to steal from anywhere at any time. Then the rare items, starting with the Wacky Watch, which changes the number of remaining turns to 5. That can either end or extend the game considerably, and I've seen it only a few times in many years of playing this game. I haven't played like every day, but you know, the point still stands. It doesn't come around much. Barter box, which switches all your items with another player's entire inventory. I can't say I've ever seen that drop. The Koopa card allows you to collect all the coins at a bank by just crossing in front of it. Literally, this item must not exist. I didn't even know it was real until I looked at the wiki. Finally, the Lucky Charm, which just sends you or an opponent to Game Guy. So if you're just in the mood to randomly lose the game by giving someone 1,000 coins, that's how that works. So yeah, the items in general are diverse, interesting, completely broken, and a lot better than their implementation in Mario Party 2. Plus, being able to hold 3 of them instead of 1 makes it a lot more strategic and well done. So I objectively say it's superior to the second game. But then again, there's a lot of broken items that never reappear in the same fashion, so I don't think it's flawlessly designed. But it's time I want to bitch about Creepy Cavern, and the other maps too, I suppose. In terms of boards in this entry, I'll give a minor thumbs up. There isn't really any bad ones. In the same vein, I don't know if I'd call any of them that great, with each of them having a whatever kind of gimmick. We'll start with Chilly Waters. Chilly Waters is like the default map in this game in my opinion. It has a modest distribution of spaces and it has mechanics which are as follows. Ice stand too many, crash, begin to back. Always happens when wanting to get star, fuck ass. That's the gist of the idea. The central component of the map is trying to enjoy yourself when suddenly Wario's fat-ass Dumpy arrives and crushes the ice in the middle, where if one or more person is standing on it, both players run back to the start. Also, if you want to scale up these ice ramps in the center, you might just fail and slide back down, ending your turn early. So you know what? This map is actually getting worse on recollection. Other than the middle of the map, the outer component of the board have happening spaces littered everywhere that cause a big-ass snowball to roll out, and you're given an action command. Now, if this was hard to achieve or do, or not just completely gameable for your benefit, I'd like it more, but it's just hit the A button in a 400 frame window to jump over the snowball to not get forced to the other end of the map, or allow yourself to get moved so you're in a better position overall. Only time this has valuable, interesting influence on a game is if you're 5 years old and can't think fast enough. Or if you're the human chimp. That is either a chimp with the intellect of no, it's actually not right. I wrote that wrong. It's a human with the intellect of a chimp, but you know, Aaron, I've proven I am the human chimp. Regardless, it's a fairly standard Mario Party experience. You get screwed by stupid ice shit, you fall down, and in regards to something I'm fairly passionate about with Mario Party map design, Boo is harder to reach here. He's all the way at the far side of the map, where you can more easily reach him with a key, which is good incentive to buy that actually, or you gotta run all the way around, which takes a while, so you're not gonna just be opening up Luigi's pocketbook and tight ass every 3 turns. I pick on Luigi because he's genuinely the fuck face of the Mario Party franchise. Look at this long bitch! Sorry, non sequitur, I don't know why that was mentioned right there, but you know what, all in all, this map is good, B tier, fine, moving on. Okay, this map is just a chock of cock. We've got all sorts of fun mechanics here, like a very constantly accessible and commonly reached junction where you have to choose an RNG selection to move on the path you want, and if you choose the wrong 25% chance, you get put onto the wrong path. This one is slightly better than the usual RNG fare though, because you do have a marginal strategy to make, where if 3 choices made by players before you were all correct, that means the final option that you're allowed to select will blast you to the other side, so you can select the path you don't want to take, and then will be forced to go to the side you want to take. So it's basically, it's good 25% of the time. Nice, fantastic. Other than that, it's happening star central with 16 spaces to land on, and then when there's too many of those, the bonus stars start going crazy and it's wonky. Won't say it's bad because it shouldn't matter, but sometimes when Dick has landed on 7 happening spaces, you're just depressingly out of the game on that front. Also, this map has 2 astoundingly butt doors to use. A Bowser space is beyond both paths, and the only other space of interest for both doors is a fucking happening space, so it's 2 spots you might just lose the game. Shigeru is hitting the sauce with that one. It's a bland map otherwise, you get blown in it, not as good as it sounds. I'll give this one D tier. Boo is also around too much. I'll just mention, you know, my whole lineage hates Boo. I gotta point it out. Okay, this is an iconic map because it sucks. That's an opinion, but it's a right one, I feel. Yeah, this is one of those fun, one of the stars is a mirage map, so enjoy your RNG adventure to a star that is fake while Princess Peach makes her way instantly to the right one because she's a fucking computer. Meanwhile, this map has 2 whirlpools that you'll find yourself completely trapped in constantly. These circles of spaces have happening spots that transport you to the other side, and I have seen many games where someone just lives in there. If landing on a happening space was common on Blooper C, it can be constant here. Just by coincidence, you could never leave. Additionally, if you're in the whirlpool region when someone else hits the spot, you're warped across the map. And on the final 5 turns, that makes a duel with every player there, so if all 4 players were in the ring, they're all dueling. So this map is just a fiesta of dueling, happening cutscenes, and finally, if you use reverse shrooms in the upper corner of the map, you can get Boo several times in a row. To be fair, it's a tech that requires some setup, but it's wild. With a key, you cross the gate to get Boo once, and then you use a reverse shroom to get him again, and then bounce back into a Boo to get him a 3rd time. And if you have the second reverse room, you get Boo up to 5 fucking times. So yeah, hope you're having fun being in a hole, guessing wrong, getting a cactus up the ass. It's an action minigame just like Chilly Waters, but you know, it's not worth discussing. You hit A at the right time, whatever. Or if you like getting stolen from 5 times, just for someone else to of course get chance time and steal your remaining 2 coins. Map sucks, D tier. I'll show you my Woody Wood if you know what I'm saying, I'm sorry. This map is fine, it's like pleasant to be honest. You'll wind around the forest and the intersections are guarded and directed by a Monty Mole who can be paid at various points on the map to swap what side he's blocking. Once a player crosses a junction, he flips the sign the other way, so there's some strategy to getting to the side you want, screwing other players out of their preferred direction, all that. Otherwise, the happening spaces give you bonus coins or slight deductions, and Boo is tucked away at the northern part of the map, and there's no bank right at the start, something I absolutely loathe and some of these maps have had. I just didn't mention. Poor video, dislike it, thank you. Comment as well, makes me get more people to watch my poor video, but really, this is a great map, which is why it was probably brought back for Mario Party Superstars 20 years later. There's not much to say. It has a lot of blue spaces. Those are fun. It has maybe too many Todd locations, but all in all, it's A tier. I love it. Wow. Creepy Cavern is a cavern-based board. Thank you very much, Wiki. Every Mario Party has had to have the asshole map. This much is known, but Mario Party 3 thought it was fun to have 2 of them. Let's list the facts. First, you start in front of a bank. Classic. Second, the map is designed around blocking paths everywhere. You can't go here if Womp Fuck is there. You can't go across this bridge if the train from someone else's tomfoolery occurred. Up, down, left, right, you find you're just unable to play the game at random points. Is there really anything overtly pain in the ass here? No, not real. No. But it's really dissatisfying being stuck for 80% of the match. I've seen games where no one could get the star once because the map just held everyone back. Boo isn't even easy to reach this time. You have to like backtrack to get it. So that's good and all. I like the trade-off, but all in all, it's a bland map with a dismal setting and yeah, just a hard C. What can be said? C stands for cock if you forgot. Finally, the secret map, the main attraction of the game, Waluigi and his multi-million-dollar island. But in reality, it's a shit heap of land that is not good for anything. It has obnoxious mechanics like one of the 4 islands changing every space to a random one for the turn, including Bowser, oh boy. Or how the happening spaces set off a tactical nuke and completely erase the wallet of anyone caught in the blast radius. And besides that, getting around is just one part incredibly unreliable action game inputs or just luck, and getting stars on this map is hard. Also, this one pains me to say, but reaching Boo is just too hard this time. You have to go to the top right island, make a correct 50-50 guess to get to Boo, otherwise you're just sent back to the start, so good. It only takes an hour to get up there to begin with. Overall, it's a mess of this and that. I wouldn't call it totally bad, but I never turn this one on with anybody. It's just not a good enough time, just a time, and therefore it's time to stick it in C tier. This game is very C. Do we remember what C stands for? It's cock. Now, maps and minigames and all that is great, but there's an elephant in the room, and it's the story mode, which brings along its own set of maps with unique rules. I don't think I need to, and am not going to go over the entire heap of maps here and everything this mode has to offer because it's really unimportant. It's far too complicated to explain how you have various followers and they do various things, and the mode is total asshead. There's never another mode like this in the Mario Party series, and the AI cheats religiously with their roles, but I'll give you the gist. You and another of the Mario man/woman go head-to-head on a rather small map. The spaces once landed upon are like Monopoly properties. You gain ownership of them. Now, if the opponent lands on that space, they lose coins. Gaining coins is used for buying partners, like a Goomba, worthless Goomba for some amount, and then trying to murder the opponent with it. Every partner has unique stats and abilities which matter for pet battling. Yes, this is the best Mario Party ever made. It has Pokemon battles in it. Main point is that you have to deal 5 points of damage to the enemy before they deal 5 to you. You have partners in front of your character and or behind, so you just surround yourself with bodyguards and try to murder everyone else. In general, this mode is fun once or twice, but if you're not someone to break out the creepy cavern or the Waluigi's mansion or island, whatever, then you are stupendously not going to break out the duel mode. In the story, however, every time you win a normal map, you are about to gain a stamp for your little old stamp collection, and you have to beat your opponent in this mode first. And you know what the worst thing ever about that is? You gain a rank based on your performance, both for the regular map victory, which is just a standard game of Mario Party with 3 computer players, but then you get another rank for the duel following the battle. The criteria for getting S rank pisses me off so fucking badly. Essentially, you need to do extremely well in comparison to the opponents, like get 3 more stars than the next highest or win without taking damage, but if you win by a close margin, you're getting a C, my friend. Once again, C stands for... So winning incredibly well is not reliable. You have to get like a fucking perfect finish. JV3 their stupid ass. It's insane. All that to gain, guess what? 1 single marked completion denoted by a big statue on the main screen of the character you played with. Yes, so they wanted you to beat the game 6 times to gain a statue with everyone who isn't Daisy or Waluigi. My goodness, that is heinous. So that is Mario Party 3 in a vague nut. Sorry, should have finished the word. Let's do a little pros and cons to wrap this up. The main thing this game has going for it is that the aesthetics are great. I love looking at the backgrounds, the character models, the storybook thing going on. It's a beautiful time. There are some very enjoyable minigames and the maps aren't remarkably bad in any way. Most of them feel pretty similar. It's okay. So it's alright, but as for cons, there's a fair higher amount of tedious and annoying mechanics this time around. Minigames are bothersome in a lot of places. There's so many cutscenes for everything, and in general, this game feels sloggy to move through. Game guide is just broken. It can shatter the game or ruin your progress. The reverse shroom is crazy, and in fact, most of the items really affect the game negatively. Duels can suck and be too much. The story mode replayability is actually offensive. It's not even just bad. It's insane how annoying it is to barely miss an S rank and having to replay an entire game to try again. Or if you're human, you just cheat and save scum the RNG until it goes right, which isn't fun either. All in all, I do see the good here. I know why people love this one. It's a refined concept coming to life. It's like the first of the more modern Mario parties. So of course, we'll leave it on the the shelf for now until later. When we revisit each game, I'll give you my defined objective point score for everything you can objectively rank here. And I promise I'm doing my work on that. It's going to be great. We're actually talking. Until then, though, we have Mario Party 4 on the horizon, one of the ones people always claim is the best. To me, though, it's more like Mario Shardy 4. I'll see you then. Goodbye. We'll talk about it.